Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Well, what we have here is complete and horrible voter fraud happening within our eyes. We have that Texas is going to investigate 2,700 potential illegal immigrants because they're apparently on voter rolls. And I think Democrats have said that these people cannot vote, but we're going to show where ample evidence where that is going to be completely untrue, or at the very least, they voted for illegal immigrants to vote. So it isn't looking too great for Democrats. And this is the Democrats' heel right here, where they need to have illegal immigrants to keep them in power, because if they don't, Democrats will never win an election again, because that's all that they can do. So we have this here from the Post Millennial saying Texas investigates over 2,700 potential illegal immigrants on voter rolls. Says Texas has found thousands of illegal immigrants on their voter rolls as the state has conducted an audit of the voter records. The Texas Secretary of State said on Monday, Secretary Jane Nelson said that there are over 2,700 possible illegal immigrants registered to vote. In a press release from Nelson, she stated, only eligible United States citizens may participate in our elections. The Trump administration's decision to give states free and direct access to this data set for the first time has been a game changer, and we appreciate the partnership with the federal government to verify the citizenship of those on our voter rolls and maintain accurate voter lists. Texas was able to run voters through the Save database, which was able to identify 2,724 potential non-citizens who are registered to vote in the Lone Star State. The state government provided those lists to local counties for them to carry out their own investigations into the legibility of those identified as non-citizens. If they are found to be in violation of the Texas Election Code, those individuals will be referred to Attorney General Ken Paxton. Now, guys, people are going to say, well, 2,700 people is not a lot. It's not a lot of people. Don't worry about it. It's 2,700 people is an immeasurable amount of people. 2,700 people can easily change from like a 35 percentage to like a 35 to like a 40 to 42%. That's a massive bump, if not more. Like a lot of people in general, you have to understand, guys, does not vote. So if you have that many people that are just voting for one political side of the aisle, which would be Democrats, then yeah, that's a massive swing to that person there. And it's not even fair, because this is what we're getting at here, is that Democrats just do not get the majority of the people that want to vote for them. I don't think they have a good representation. This makes it even worse for how lowly represented that Democrats actually are in this country. We have more here that says each voter who is flagged will have to provide proof of citizenship within 30 days. And if the government does not get a response, the registration will be canceled per Fox News. Everyone's right to vote is sacred and must be protected. We encourage counties to conduct a rigorous investigation to determine if any voter is eligible, just as they do with any other data set we provide. Secretary Nelson added, the SAVE database has proven to be a critically important data set and one of many that will be continued to use in Texas to ensure that only qualified voters cast a ballot in our elections. Early voting in Texas began on Monday, and there are multiple constitutional amendments on the ballot. Additionally, there are some states and local elections taking place. So that's what we have here. But it gets worse, guys, because apparently in Minnesota, elections director admits illegal immigrants could vote with state-issued driver's licenses. That is wild, and we all know that the Biden administration was giving out driver licenses and sheets of paper to vote on. So I don't know what else people are going to go out with this, but this is crazy. This means when these illegal immigrants got these papers and got these licenses, they were able to vote regardless whether or not they were illegal or legal or not. This is insane here. It goes on to say that Minnesota Elections Director Paul Leno told state lawmakers this week that in some cases, illegal immigrants could cast ballots if they present a valid Minnesota driver's license as identification. During a Minnesota House Fraud Committee hearing on Tuesday, GOP Representative Patty Anderson questioned how the system would work. So we give a driver's license to anyone here. You don't have to be a citizen if someone comes in, they register. They have the driver's license, but they have an incorrect social security number or no social or whatever. Then they become incomplete. But if they walk in to vote with their live driver's license, does that make them all of a sudden now okay? No, it doesn't. I do not believe it does. This is what he had to say on the matter.
Vice Chair Anderson.
Thank you. So
we give driver's licenses to anyone here. You don't have to be a citizen. You don't have to, which is a photo ID. So if someone comes in, they register, they have the driver's license, but they have an incorrect social or no social or whatever. So then they become incomplete. But if they walk in to vote with their driver's license, does that make them all of a sudden now okay?
Mr. Linnell.
Madam Chair, so the designation on the roster for someone whose registration had been incomplete, if they present the election judge with that acceptable identification document, that would clear the challenge from the roster and they would be permitted to cast a ballot.
Mr. Anderson.
Well, okay, there's your problem potentially. So thank you.
So just to clarify, someone who is not a citizen but presents a driver's license at that point in the process could be permitted to vote.
Madam Chair, at the time of registration, as well as at the time of submitting a ballot, every voter is signing the attestation affirming their eligibility to vote, including that they meet all eligibility requirements, that they are a U.S. citizen. If it's determined then that the voter was not in fact eligible to vote, that information would be provided to the county attorney for investigation and potential prosecution.
Yeah, of course. They always do a long-winded response. The question is yes or no. So that's damning there. So that's damning. And then we have this here where it goes on to say that 30,000 eligible Kansas voters, as eligible as you are or I am, were turned away because they couldn't produce the proper proofs. I don't think we want to be in that Minnesota. So, yeah, that is crazy. So, again, this is something that is ongoing here with our country. And it's a massive problem. Of course, we have this here where we all know that we had federal agents that were rescued 10 minors and 8 of who are unaccompanied who are being used for child labor at a wheat farm in Gavin Newsom's California. So we know this was going on back in July of 2025. And there's more of this. To even correct this, 10 illegal kids found at raided California pot farm. This is the crazy thing here. And again, it says DHA leads efforts to rescue victims of sex and labor trafficking. So again, July 25th, Secretary Noem is leading efforts to rescue and stop the exploitation of the 300,000 unaccompanied children the Biden administration lost or placed with unvetted sponsors. Many of the children who came across the border unaccompanied were allowed to be placed with sponsors who were actually smugglers and sex traffickers. The Trump administration has located 13,000 of these children. So again, we have it here to where the Biden administration is just pretty much letting children be trafficked. This is the reality here. This is what we've been experiencing, and this is all leading up, and this all takes place here and here. This all makes sense. This is what's going on. So the Democrats don't care about minors being trafficked, all right, or sex trafficked or what have you. They don't care. As long as they're able to get their voters and stay in power, that's all that they care about. That is a Democratic mantra. And again, we have this here where Democrats are more in favor to doing this. It says most of the Democrats, except for 5, voted to allow illegal aliens to be able to vote. We have this here to where Republicans say yeah, and then we have 198 Democrats say nay, which is no, obviously. And only 5 of the Democrats voted yeah for not wanting for illegal aliens to be voted for. So again, we're seeing it time and time again, guys, where Democrats are very avid on allowing illegal immigrants to vote. They say that they're not going to do this. They say they're for illegal immigrants. They say, oh, this is bad. But the only reason why they're acting out like this, the only reason why they're doing this type of stuff is because the Democratic Party needs illegal immigrants to stay in power. And without this, it's doomed, right? It's completely doomed. And we have it to where there is more of this as well, where if this is the case that's been going on, that means that the representation for Democrats is not really true representation. And the reason why I say that is because if they're having illegal aliens vote for them or illegal immigrants vote for them, that means the actual American people are not being fully represented because they're having people outside of the country represent a group that the Americans didn't even vote for to begin with. So it's terrible. This is how the Democrats work. This is how the Democrats manipulate to try to make sure they can stay in power. And why they're so angry about the illegal immigrants getting deported is because there goes their voter base. There goes their potential meal ticket in order to stay in power. And this is just further proof on showing on how bad the Democratic Party is and how we cannot let them win, because it will be retribution onto every single American possible if they get back into power. And that's why we have to prevent them from getting back into power, because we know the danger that they're going to lead in. There will be so much problems with America if they get back in power. It won't even be funny. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share, and as always, take care, my friends.